In today's video, for probably the fifth or sixth day in a row, we are going to be taking a look at the upcoming major snowstorm that we have on the way. If not a major blizzard, as you guys know. Also, the polar vortex, which is going to make an appearance around Christmas and last upwards of a week or more, really causing historically cold temperatures around Christmas time. Now, some interesting things to note as we get into the beginning of this video is it is kind of in question now where the bullseye for this storm is going to be more than ever. Will it be this coastal region? Will it be the interior region of the Northeast? Will it be the Ohio Valley and the Midwest? There's a lot to think about, and it's all going to be determined basically by the storm track, obviously. If it tracks inward like that, or if it tracks outward like this. And we're going to be talking all about that during this video. It's going to be an exciting one, a nail biter for the coming days, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Real quickly, let's just get into the current conditions, though. We do have some snow showers up here for the Northern Rockies, but this is really not much considering what they usually see. So we're not going to really dive into that too much. We do have some snow showers around the center of this Arctic low that is over place here of Michigan, basically. And this is circulating some snow showers around, as you can see, basically for states like Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, even Pennsylvania and New York getting some of this as well as Iowa down there. So we're seeing these light to moderate snow showers from multiple different states at this point. As we work our way a little bit further eastward here, we can see the remnants of this major snowstorm that was once taking place here. Now bringing heavy snowfall still to portions of Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont, but mostly Maine here, as this will come to an end during the day today, but still very heavy snowfall lingering. The whites are going to be extremely heavy snowfall, but the blues will be whiteout conditions apparently, or potentially, basically, we see in these regions. Now, as we work our way further south here, we can see that there is some showers and thunderstorms moving across the deeper south, and these are actually quite quick moving along this jet stream here. Mostly looks like showery activity here on the western end of things, but for southern Florida with this frontal boundary here underneath, we can see that there is some thunderstorm activity taking place in very far southern Florida, perhaps for the Keys of Florida and near Miami. There is some thunderstorms taking place. Most of it is offshore, though, and approaching the Bahamas there, which is always so amazing to me how close Miami is to some of these Bahama islands here, like Grand Bahama, Nassau, Freeport. Nassau is actually a little bit further, but we see just these different islands so close to Florida. It's hard to even picture how close that is. You can almost see it from the beach. It's that close. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on and we're going to just dive into the upcoming guidance because there is so much to go over today. I'm so excited. Now, we're going to do something interesting in today's video as opposed to what we've been doing. We're just going to take a look at our European models, total precipitation, the storminess, the snowfall here, and we're going to dive into the GFS model afterwards and just compare and contrast that model so we can get the two different opinions, and then at the very end we'll go over those temperature anomalies. Now, the one thing to note is, again, the location is very uncertain. We don't know if this will be an upper Midwest, an Ohio Valley and Great Lakes storm, an interior eastern storm, or perhaps a coastal storm, but models have been trending away from a coastal storm and going further and further inland. So that is important to note at this stage of the game. The one thing I'm confident in, and that's what I've been saying for days, is that there will be a major snowstorm, potentially a blizzard. That is something that I feel extremely confident in. It's the location that is more in question. Now let's go ahead and just continue moving on with this. We see that we get our pattern setting up for the storm. Again, piece number one, we've been talking about this for a few days. So this piece of energy is going to move right along. We're going to see this one developing here as well, piece number two, to the puzzle. And these ones slide off. We see it just slide down south off, and we don't really see this piece come up the coast quite as much as we've been seeing. Although piece number two here is really picking up steam here in the upper Midwest, the plains, the Ohio Valley, here, and things are a lot warmer on this eastern end. Maybe even severe weather occurring here on the eastern end of things. Very stark contrast between the warmth and the cold here along the coast. We see our low developing far west of where we've been seeing it for days. Warm front setting up in here, cold front underneath, just as we've been suspecting. And the temperature difference that you would see from the coast here, as opposed to behind the cold front here on our more western end of things, would be so different. It would be shocking. I think it might be the difference between 60s and perhaps 20s and even teens. So we're talking a huge difference in temperatures in that frontal boundary. And I think because of this reason here, I really feel like severe weather on the eastern end of things in this type of a scenario would be possible. And not only that, but also just monstrous amounts of snowfall where that snow continues on for hours and hours and hours, which would mostly be actually in this pocket here in this scenario. We do get some back end snowfall here for the eastern end of things as well. As you can see right around here, that cold front swings up like this, and that is when we would get some back end snowfall. But still, that warm front surging into Canada, just an extreme look here from our European model. And then everything's all said and done by the time we're reaching about Christmas Day, where you can see there is just this massive polar vortex in place. Frigid temperatures across the eastern regions and the north central regions of the United States. Also, as this air moves over the heavy snowfall that's just occurred, that'll make things even colder. So this is a very cold look. And as we continue on, we do get another storm setting up, and this is basically the end of things. If we were to look past this western edge, further that way, we would see that over the Pacific, there's about 3 or 4 major storms downstream from us, or better yet, upstream from us, that are heading our way. And over the next few weeks, we are going to see those continue to move into the United States and cause different storms to occur, major storms. We just don't know how those will shape up yet. But there's more storms on the way. They are up the train tracks and they are headed our way. It's just a matter of time. So this is going to be an active pattern after this storm as well. And I'm pretty sure this is storm number 2 out of that Pacific train of storms happening right there. Now, the total snowfall from this model would look something like this. So as opposed to seeing those heavy amounts in here, as you can see, it's shifted west and we'd be seeing it in here primarily. So upper Midwest, Ohio Valley here, Great Lakes especially, all of those areas seeing extreme amounts of snowfall. Anywhere in the grays, a dusting if anything, blues 2 to 6 inches of snowfall, purples 6 to 10, pinks 10 to 20, pastel blues 20 inches plus, and then those pastel pinks like we see in Michigan, that would be 35 inches plus. So certainly an enormous amounts of snowfall. And I don't want you guys to feel discouraged. This can easily shift back east as well. We have seen some signs from models that could occur as well. So we're going to see this flip-flop back and forth. It's going to be a roller coaster, and I've been saying that since day one. We have so many model runs to go and so many changes to potentially take place in the location. But the one thing that has gone unchanged is the fact that there is a major pre-Christmas snowstorm expected somewhere in the eastern half of the nation, and that has held strong. Now, the GFS model in its 12Z model run today on December 17th has folded to the European model, where it was showing a coastal storm, the entire time. It has gone ahead and shown something a lot more like what the European model is showing. We do see piece number 1 does make it to the coast, but we see this piece number 2 is tilting already, meaning it's going to also show more of an interior solution there. Very warm again on this eastern edge. So we see the warm air surging out ahead of the cold front because of that warm front there. So we see that rushing in. We see the cold air behind with this cold front swinging underneath, and we're going to see a solution very similar to the European model. I would say this solution still is much further east than what the European model is showing, but it's going to be more of an interior eastern United States snowstorm here, and Ohio Valley and Great Lakes there. So still a very far western solution compared to what we've seen in the past days. And then by the time we're reaching again Christmas Day into Boxing Day, that will be all said and done. We get a couple clipper systems here perhaps in the very far northern regions that we see there on this GFS model. We get our next bit of storms moving into the west there, and then maybe our next potential storm here in the eastern half of the nation, shaping up by the time we're reaching about late December into early January. Now, the total snowfall according to this model would look like this. Again, a little bit further east here, we do see plenty of these 10-inch plus amounts here in the interior eastern United States. So we're a lot closer to what things had been here on our GFS model. But there's still also very large amounts here in the plains, the Ohio Valley, and the Great Lakes as well. But again, regardless, we know there will be a very major snowstorm before Christmas. The location is more in question. This could easily shift back east. It could also go even further west or further north or further south. Only time will tell. And we have many different model runs to go because it is only December 17th right now. I would say we have a good 5 days until this storm is starting out, so there's a lot of time to go. And I have seen these things shift back east last minute, so it's certainly not out of the question. Now, the temperature pattern, because still that polar vortex is still expected to occur, things will be even colder by the time we're reaching the 19th, just 2 days from now, on Monday the 19th there. We can see that there will be a warming before that storm rolls through. This is with that warm front, so we see surging warm air out ahead of the polar vortex, which is clearly taking place in a very powerful way here by the time we're reaching the 22nd into the 23rd. And that just shoves its way in through the 23rd and the 24th until we have this full-blown Arctic blast event taking place here in the eastern half of the nation there. Your blue areas outside of the greens will be about 1 degree to 10 degrees below normal, whatever your average temperature is this time of year. Your greens there will be 10 to 15 degrees below normal. Those blues within the greens will be 15 to 25 degrees below normal. Then your magentas, your dark magentas will be 25 to 30 degrees below normal, and your bright pinks there are going to be your 30 to 35 degrees or more below normal there. So obviously huge departures from what's typical here taking place. And that lasts all the way until the end of the model run here on December 27th, where we still see this brutal cold air in place here. Not really expected to end anytime soon. So still taking aim at the eastern United States here. And an end isn't really in sight, especially with this developing positive PNA that we see here, right there. That is going to keep that cold air aimed at the eastern half of the nation as long as this here exists. So we're going to be watching for that a potential end in this Arctic blast. Again, we upload every single day, so be sure to tune in with us daily. Also, be sure to hit that bell icon so you'll get daily notifications when we do upload. Like the video if you did enjoy it. Leave a comment down below with your thoughts because I love hearing from you guys so much. And as always, be sure to tune in tomorrow as we will be talking about not only this major upcoming snowstorm, but the polar vortex that is on its way also. See you guys in the next one.